Birds play an essential role in the functioning of the ecosystem in a way that directly impacts human health, economy, and food production, as well as millions of other species. Birds control pests, pollinate plants, and spread seeds. They maintain the delicate balance between plant and herbivore, predator and prey. Birds communicate the health of the planet because they are widespread and respond quickly to the changes in the environment. Because of this, they are our early warning system for pressing concerns such as climate change. It is therefore a ticking time bomb when human activities will threaten birds' habitat, like the wetlands.
Birds in general are good indicators of the status of the environment or the health of environment.
Today, a team of nature conservationists have arrived at one of the threatened wetlands in Uasin Gishu, Lake Narasha. In a bird watching and counting exercise, this exercise will inform the National Conservation Plan. Early in the morning, the expedition to catch the early birds begins. The fresh air, the rising sun, birds chirping, and this perfect silhouette of Africa's dominant crane, the grey-crowned. On board are experts from the International Crane Foundation. Their primary focus is on the wetlands that cranes depend on for breeding. The bird watching exercise is meant to record the different families and species of birds found at the wetland, Lake Narasha. The collected data will be used in making conservation decisions. The team splits into two groups. One team goes west, and the other covers the east side of the wetland. This is to avoid double counting the birds. The teams will meet later at the center end of the dam to share their findings.
As you all know from the Ramsar Convention, there is an emphasis on conservation also of small wetlands. So that is the reason we are here, and that will be the main output. And we are doing this to complement other efforts that are also being done by the National Steering Committee, spearheaded by NEMA in Nairobi, and also what the County Planning Committee at the Uasin Gishu County level.
Mkona bird laser. Yeah, so we'll use a bird laser is an app yenye huwa tunatumia kurecord so the species na tuna pia andika ni ngapi. The number is very important. Then at the end we'll share the list so we can fill one form. Na this time of the year ndio pia tuna museum, KWS, Wildlife Research, Kenya and other organizations. We are counting water birds across the country. So this data will also fit. It also appear, itatokezea kwa report, the national report. So that's why we need to, na tunahesabu tu water birds, but because we are building a list for this area, we will also record the terrestrial species. Because zenye tunasikia ama tutaona kwa kichaka, because they also utilize this water. See, kiu ikiingia wanakuja tukunywa maji hapa. So we can build that list. Then later on we can, we combine and we compile it and provide it to those who are planning. So on who will go on which side? It's a grip, small brown bird. To grip is just one.
To the right?
Let me, from where the ducks were, huenda kama mita 10-15 hivi. Yeah, and they keep diving. It has dived already. Maybe you're seeing another one. Ah, ametokezea. Kametoka. Are called the red-knobbed coats. When they are breeding, on top of their white shield, bill, they develop swellings, red swellings.
Oh yes, red-knobbed coat.
Yeah, that's why they are called the red-knobbed coats. At least this one I don't need to see it. So it's Hunter's.
Cysticolor.
Hunter's cysticolor, yeah. Hunter is not is the name of the person who described them.
Not that they hunt.
Not that they hunt. Yes, they look for food. Inafaa tuache riparian. Part of these wetlands huwa na riparian flood. Yeah.
But see, it is being daktari. It's being advised by Kenya Forest Service. Ama watu wa wetland kwa wanafanya.
The best advisor would be an ecologist, somebody who will understand the needs of the wildlife species that are in this area. Unaona hii maua hapa
Can you
iko
see
na
the
red?
red flowers?
This is called the lion's tail. They like them very much for their nectar. That's why we are having the golden winged sunbirds here.
And what are those birds?
This is the male
The male
golden
one.
winged sunbird.
What about the one on the electric line?
Ndio huyo.
Still,
It's the same, so I think we have 2 or 3 males around here.
It has a long tail.
No, we call those tail feathers, we call them streamers. Yeah, they go beyond the normal length of the tail feathers, and they are just like for decoration.
The purpose is to make it look beautiful.
Yeah.
And why in birds are male more decorated than females?
That's a good question, and it's not in all species. It's selected. Because the males are more colorful, it is their work to attract the females. So they need to be colorful so they can dance, they can show off well. Yeah. Lakini zingine kama crane haziko na tofauti.
hazina tofauti, zinafanana.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be black because I think I saw the same
Okay. No.
There are more sunbirds here.
Sunbird wanapenda hii maua sana because they get nectar from it. Yeah.
We used to pluck these fruits and eat them when we were young kids.
sugar.
That is the food of the sunbirds.
Oh, on the power line.
Oh, Nini, the old telephone line. Yeah. That is a dove, very grey or dark grey. If your binoculars are strong enough, the eyes should be reddish or something like that. But the wings have some light blue fuzz or reddish wash. Now this is the turtle dove. Yeah. African turtle dove. Or dusky turtle dove actually.
Dusky.
Yeah, dusky turtle dove. These sunbirds are even the small ones. Who are you?
This small bird here looks like
kitu hajatupea. Ah, very good. Look up there, that's a nice, this is what we call the thick-billed seed eater. Yeah. Mdomo yake ni nono. Yeah. Seed eater. Yeah, the thick-billed seed eater. These are the females of the variable sunbird. That one ndio hiyo sauti.
That one? Yes, it's so tiny, I can't see it.
But it should be greenish on the back, yeah, and yellowish in the back. Now this is now a young female of the Nectaria clibensis. Inaitwa aje? Nasahau the common name. Blonde sunbird. Yeah, it's a female of the blonde sunbird. So we are adding 2 sunbirds here. Variable, which is a small, and a variable nimesikia kitu.
I have also had a variable somewhere here.
Yeah, so there are at least 3 or 4 of the variable sunbirds individuals. Because in the app you have the option also of adding the numbers. So we add Lensis sunbird.
Yeah, we were lucky to find one, which is a female.
I think we call them the everlasting flowers. Hii ukikata utakaa nayo kwa nyumba for
When you
so
cut
long.
and put it in the house, it does not change, even if it loses moisture.
So they are called the everlasting flowers, and they are they only found in high altitude areas kama huko Aberdares National Park, Mount Kenya. So ukiona hapa, this is it can be an indicator species of how high we are.
Okay.
Yeah, you won't see it in Kisumu or even Eldoret town. Sorry. And so I want to check how high we are. Yeah, and in fact you can take a picture. There's an app called Planting It. Yeah, which can help you to identify. Yeah, here we are. The altitude is 2,739 meters. That's quite high. Yeah, it's higher than Nyahururu. So this is in the foothills. And that's why we are. It's so that cold.
Jambo.
Hello, how are you doing?
Yeah,
We want to get to the wetland. Can we use this gate?
Okay.
Hello,
Habari yako? Salama sana. Maingi yako ama ni wewe
is
ndio?
Maingi around or you're the
Na
owner?
Maingi? Alienda ama? Hapo. Unakujanga napata.
Now this one also, iko tu kama those flowers nimewaambia. This is called the malachite sunbird, which is a high altitude species. Yeah, malachite sunbird. It's very greenish. That's a nice bird to see. Nice to see the malachite sunbird. Now malachite sunbird is also a high elevation species. Ni zile ndege tunasema they are restricted by the elevation where you see them. So it's what we call the indicator species. And the thick-billed seed eater, the malachite sunbird, and the hunter's cisticola, they are indicator species of the biome, ama an area with unique vegetation that we call the Afrotropical highland biome.
Okay.
Even the sunbird, the brown sunbird is also an indicator of this kind of an area.
Okay.
Yeah. Sawa.
Nice seeing that another kite.
Tutelemuke.
Okay, let's keep going down.
Hali kuna ng'ombe. Juu kabisa. Yeah, that's the common pisco or the northern pisco. There are two. Hata ile miti itapanda pale. Maji inakuja mpaka hapo. The trees will just die.
Lakini Syzygium
The Syzygium won't die.
In this wet condition,
Yes, Syzygium can thrive in waterlogged.
that waterlogged condition.
This line Syzygium can.
Yeah, this one yes, but that one,
This one.
water floods up to there.
The holes already have water.
Yeah, so we need this
I'm taking a
riparian.
photo. I'll take a photo.
Yeah, because when the frogs go back to the water to breed, but they need the grassland to feed. Yeah, we should have some. In fact, we should follow the wetland regulations or guidelines. Requires that we leave some space.
Yeah.
Yeah. After the water edge. Sasa hii
Ule mmesema samaki ni over there, ahead of the
Mbele,
crane.
mbele, mbele. Hiyo ni ya
yeah, it's a
dada.
hammock.
It's a hammock.
Before.
Yeah, that's a hammock. Yes.
Gani?
Iko mbele ya
You see
crane.
mbele ya
Mbele ya
crane?
crane,
Yeah. There's a bird that they're chasing.
Ah.
Yeah. If you're keen, you're going to see it. It's not a dada, it's a hammock.
It's a hammock.
Kuna wengine wadogo hapo.
It's ahead of the cranes.
Kuna wengine wadogo hapo. Unaona hapa kwenye where we have the cape
Nimeona ni kama
hapo kidogo. Like on this side.
Dr. Wamiti and the team are taking time to share the knowledge of birds and the environment with the community. Equipping the community with conservation knowledge can be a silver bullet in saving endangered species like the cranes. It allows the community to understand the environment they live in and their role in conservation. The International Crane Foundation team is focused on conserving wetlands as breeding sites for the crane bird.
Let me go straight away to one of the components of a wetland, and these are birds. One of the major threats to our wetlands is this plant here. You might have seen it from the pods or the seeds and the flowers. We call it mimosa. And we lost a whole wetland in Siositeko in Busia County from this invasion of this plant. Right now, Zambia are dealing with tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dealing with this plant. Then, but the best thing is if you identified it early, just do manual removal. It's easier controlled that way. Then in some of our wetlands like Lake Olbosat, where I've done a lot of research on cranes and wetland itself, we have two invasive species. We have this fallen. This is it was introduced in the 1920s from South America because of its fur. The skin has very good fur, so it was introduced in Kenyan highlands. It escaped and found its way to the central Kenya wetlands, and it feeds on reeds, the roots of reeds, and reeds are the nesting material for cranes and other water birds. So after that, when the reeds are not there, Another weed, which was also from South America, called Salvinia molesta, takes over. And this Salvinia molesta forms a carpet over water, therefore it even kills the water, so there is no light penetration. And for those who have studied wetland ecology, light is very important in the health of a wetland. If it is fully covered, then some of the life will disappear. So the issue of invasive species is not only affecting, let me say it is affecting wetland life, biodiversity, what we call biodiversity. As we try to take electricity from one point distributing it, we sometimes put up power lines across areas where cranes frequent as they fly, and before they realize that there is a threat here, we lose quite a number. Now, this is the line transmitting power from Moyale, Ethiopia, through Moyale, Laikipia, Nyandarua into Naivasha. And one morning a teacher called us and informed us of this crane that had collided with the pylon, with the wires or the cables, and we found it dead. Then I did a post-mortem as part of my research, and I found this egg. I'm sorry if this image is disturbing, but we need to talk about the situation openly. So this was a female crane. We don't know if it had an egg or another 2 or 3 more eggs somewhere, and this egg was already down. It was almost being to be laid. So if we lose such individuals, breeding individuals, then siapa tulipoteza at least a crane from this one egg, because this chick would have hatched and survived to reproduce in the future. So if we bring the statistics, the figures from cranes between 2016 and 2021, in Nyandarua County alone, we lost 18 cranes from power line collisions and electrocution. And most of these were the new lines that have just been put in areas where cranes are not used to. But now after that they adjust. But there are measures that we are trying to work with the power companies, like putting reflectors so that the cranes can see there is something unusual there. Yeah, then people are they are setting up wetlands on fire, trying to create space for farming or even settlements or even infrastructure. This is also a major problem affecting wetlands, maybe for conversion to agriculture or other uses, or maybe it is just malicious. Then, among last but not least of the threats affecting wetlands and cranes is fencing, encroachment. According to our wetland regulations or policy, the wetland edge or the wetland boundary should be at least, I think, 30 meters from the highest historical record of water having ever reached. This is not true. People have encroached. This is from Lake Olbosat. We have fences going right all the way. People grabbing land into wetlands. And fences are not good with large birds like cranes because they have to fly all the time. As they move from one paddock or one patch to the other, flying requires energy. And they have to, if they have to fly so many times in a day, they lose more than they are gaining. So it's affecting their behavior as well.
In Uasin Gishu, there were 149 protected wetlands in 2020, an increase from 112 in 2016. Despite protecting more wetlands, the number of crane birds still decreases. This is due to factors like encroachment, wildlife poisoning, and the erection of electricity lines near wetlands. Back in the wetland, the team has met. and it's time they are exchanging observations. Together, they counted 57 bird species classified into 28 families. The wetland, despite its small size, is rich in biodiversity. Data collection and monitoring is a crucial aspect of ecosystem conservation, which involves the systematic gathering and analysis of information to understand, manage, and protect natural environment. This process is essential for making informed decisions, tracking changes, and implementing conservation strategies effectively.
On the other side, we had the black-billed weaver, actually with about 4 chicks.
Oh, black-billed weaver.
Yes. Very interesting. Of course, numerous yellow-billed ducks.
A lot of golden winged sunbirds in the
Lots of golden winged sunbirds. We also had eastern double-collared sunbird.
Okay.
Data has become an indispensable tool in the realm of wildlife conservation. Its ability to predict future trends, combat wildlife crime, and support decision-making has revolutionized the way we approach the protection of our planet's biodiversity.
In bird watching, we take it as a hobby, which also can translate it to science, which after that data, it may also feed into decision making. So bird watching, besides going out, looking for birds, making attempt to identify them, or even to count them like what we are doing today, it helps to collect data through what we call citizen science. And this is where people, regardless of their profession, and they have the bird watching interest and skills, they can go out to a wetland like we have done today at Lake Narasha, looking out for birds and coming up with a list. And this helps to know the biodiversity component, the bird biodiversity in a wetland or in an area. And from this we can counter-check what are their conservation status. For instance, today we have recorded the grey crowned crane, which is the flagship of our species. That is the species we are focusing on in Kenya. And this species is currently listed as globally threatened under the endangered category, meaning that generally the water birds or other birds in general are good indicators of the status of the environment or the health of environment. And when we see such highly threatened species occupying such a small wetland, it gives us the information that this is such an important wetland, despite its location to just next to a highway and in a community area. Therefore, as we do bird watch, we also like to interact with the local communities so we can raise awareness about the importance of such a wetland.
The sounds of birds keep fading away as the natural environment degrades. The sharp, sweet, anticipative melody of the grey-crowned crane may soon be unheard of because of their declining population. The bird's role in the ecosystem is pivotal and irreplaceable. It is therefore an existential threat to human life should the conservation of the environment not be taken seriously.